Are you curious about Carama? I certainly am. Hello, I am the Daily Dad, and this is Wolfgang Puck's newest restaurant in Las Vegas at the Mandalay Bay, which opened up in February of 2024. It looks to capture the flavors and flair of Northern Italy, and that sounds good to me. In fact, some good Italian food for dinner would certainly hit the spot. So since I'm heading in for a nice meal, that means that you get to come along for the ride too. So let's check out Carama today here on The Daily Dad. Before we dig in, I wanted to show you this seating area, which they call their salumeria. It's the picture you see right now. Translated, that's their delicatessen, where you can order all sorts of authentic Italian meats, garnished with fruit and prepared right here at this station. I am a solo diner today, so I didn't order anything from the salumi bar, but I did get to sit at the salumi bar and watch them prepare dishes in front of me. Anyway, let's pull up the dinner menu here, and we do have some scrumptious looking options. Oh, it's hard to choose, but these sauteed tiger prawns seem to be calling my name. Yes, please. By the way, do you know the difference between prawns and shrimp? They are close cousins. However, shrimp, more curly when cooked, whereas prawns, as you can see, wind up being less curly. Presentation-wise, prawns makes it easier to plate and present. Trying to line up a bunch of curled up jumbo shrimp just makes plating them seem unruly. Also, most people would say that prawns are a bit sweeter, and you can taste the difference if you were to bite into a jumbo shrimp and then into a tiger prawn. But I digress, and I also can't stop eating. Oh my God, this is amazing on so many levels. It's so pretty with the salmorejo sauce drizzled on top of the chili butter. It's quite easy to remove the head and tail without seeming uncouth. It's a very good portion, and best of all, it's sure to bump up your cholesterol numbers. Ooh, yeah. Anyway, this is really a case where too much of a good thing is really not a good thing, but boy, this is good. Now, let's take a look at the side dishes. All look wonderful, and again, this is going to be a hard decision. But I'm going with the roasted carrots. And wow, this is a winner. I, for one, really don't like carrots all that much, but this really exceeded my expectations. It might have even skewed my sense of reality. I loved the presentation. I loved the earthiness of the taste. I loved how the carrots were just firm enough without being mushy. The honey glaze, the accompanying currants, the sweet onions. Whoa, where have you been all my life? I need to figure out how to make this at home, but I'll tell you, this is delicious, and the dish is big enough to share. Really, if a dish could be a veggie and a dessert at the same time, this comes pretty darn close. Even your kids will probably give this a go. Finally, as we make our way to the finish line here at Carama, here's the dessert menu. Now, on this particular evening, there was a dessert option not published on the menu, zabaglione. Now, I'm not a pastry chef, right? I'm just the Daily Dad, but in my limited thinking, I liken this to custard, but much, much airier. Kind of like whipped cream in texture, but eggnoggy in flavor. I mean, if we could eat a cloud, this foaminess is as close to that as I can imagine. In fact, it's so airy that the dessert is sprinkled with wafers to give this dessert some texture. Personally though, I think that I would have preferred panna cotta. Again, this is really just a Daily Dad personal preference, as I would have preferred something a bit more dense than zabaglione. So, quite honestly, not my cup of affogato. Beyond very much enjoying my entree and a side dish, I do want to encourage you, especially if you have some well-behaved kids, to enjoy a nice family meal here. In addition to the menu items that you saw, there are also several flatbread offerings as well as several pasta dishes to keep the kids happy. You see, while this is considered a fine dining experience, it's definitely family approachable. And I wanted to point that out because I believe that families like staying at the Mandalay Bay due to their amazing pool complex. But weirdly, there aren't really any fine restaurants at this resort that cater to those families. Well, until Carama came along in February of 2024. So, for some solid Italian food and also for an elevated experience appropriate for the entire family, I give Carama 3.5 stars out of 4. Hey, this is the Daily Dad reminding you to try new things and to be happy.